Okay, in these last three examples, I want to talk about one thing that I probably should have mentioned from the very beginning that I forgot to say at the beginning of these questions, is I want to always ask myself, is there a GCF? So when I scan back up here, none of these had greatest common factors. Like if you look at 5 and 6, there is not a number or a variable I can divide out in the front. If there is, I always want to do that first. These last three do have GCFs. So I wanted to separate them out and talk about finding that GCF and showing you what the answer looks like. So number 7, we should always ask, is there a GCF? And so I do see a GCF with the numbers. Okay, 18 is the smallest number. So a 3 will go into all of those. Let's try 6. 6 goes into 18, but not 33. So I have to back off to 3. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to do 3. Notice I don't have an x over here, so I can't divide an x out as well. So let's factor out a GCF. So just divide everything by 3. So I'm left with 6x squared plus 11x. Negative 30 divided by 3 is negative 10. Okay, now I am ready to only look at what's in my parentheses and proceed with factoring like we did before. So my final answer is going to have a 3 in front. That's just going to stay with my 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, so now I go through this process. You know, factors of 10 are 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Factors of 6 are 1 and 6, 2 and 3. And so let's start at the bottom of our list for all of them. So I'm going to start with 2 and 3. So 2x and 3x, and then start with 2 and 5, 2 and 5. Okay, so remember, the 11 comes from multiplying and testing the 2 outer plus or minus the 2 inner. So 2 times 5 gives me 10, so 10x. 3 and 2 is 6. So I'm either going to add up to 16 or subtract to 4. Okay, so that's not going to work. So let's take away that. Oops, I knew that would happen. Okay, so let's swap the 2 and the 5. I'm going to put the 5 over here and the 2 over here. All right, so let's test outer, inner. So 2 times 2 is 4x, 5 and 3, 15. Remember, you're looking at 11. So I can do 15 minus 4 and get 11. So I want the 15 positive, the 4 negative. So trace back up, and I have plus here and minus here. And so my answer here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to back up here. Oops, it's not going to work. Plus on here, oh gosh, I get my pen activated, plus here and minus. So I'm just going to circle here. My whole answer, let's switch my colors. My whole answer is this entire set of parentheses. So the 3 times the 2x plus 5 times the 3x minus 2. So I can't lose sight of this GCF. It's got to stay up there to be part of the answer. Okay, let's try another. All right, is there a GCF? And there is. So I can take a 7, but only a 7. So I'm going to do 7. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to do 7 and open my parentheses and now divide out. So I'm going to have 21 divided by 3 is 7. Negative 70 divided by 7 is negative 10m, and then plus 7. Okay, now factor what I've highlighted. So now I'm ready to do 7, open my parentheses, and now I'm going to do my factors of 7 are 1 times 7. My factors of 3 are 1 times 3. Okay, so we don't have a lot of options, which is good. Okay, so let's put into our parentheses. I'm going to start with 1m and 3m, and then I'm going to start with 1 and 7. And then remember, we're trying to see, do we get negative 10 after we test the inner and outer? So m times 7, 7m, 1 and 3, 3m. All right, if I add, I get positive, so I need to subtract both of them. So negative and negative will give me negative 10, so let's put our negatives in there. And then do I still get positive 7? And I have negative 1, negative 7, I do. All right, so let's take off these, and then my answer is the whole thing. So 7 times m minus 1 times 3m minus 7. Okay, I'm going to get you started on 9, and then I want you to pause the video and finish it. So our GCF this time has a number and a letter. So my numbers, 5 is probably the biggest number we can use. And do you see how they all contain at least one x? Okay, so we need to divide 5x out of all three terms. So that's going to leave me with 5x squared, and then minus 2x, and then minus 3. So the only difference here is what my GCF looks like. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to finish this problem out and then come back and check your answer with me. Okay, let's factor this. So I've got factors of 3 are 1 and 3, and then 1 and 5. So let's test out x, 5x, 1, 3. And then I'm going to check the outer. So that would be 3x, 5x. Okay, I want negative 2. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So let's make our 5 negative and our 3 positive. So tracing back up here, negative and positive. And then I want to check. I need a negative 3 at the end. So negative 1 and positive 3 will make a negative 3. All right, so let's get rid of that. Oops, I got rid of too much. So let me fix that here. Parentheses, this is a 2. And so here is your factored answer. Okay, if you have questions, please feel free to send me a message.